Hello, hello. Are we connected? Test. It takes some time to get connected. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. One test here. And one test here. How's it going? Doing well, doing well. How about you? Okay, maybe I should refresh. Test, 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 test. Chatbot widgets. Chat overlay. Yeah, I think. Copy. Okay, we need to test it again. I want a YouTube chat to be also here, so. Don't know if it works. Not connected yet. Takes some time. Okay. Hi, hi. Yeah, YouTube chat is not still connected. Don't know why. You look cool today. Thank you. I'm actually very sleepy. Waiting for some delivery. To eat something. Very hungry. Do you hear me? Yeah, I guess you hear me. Okay, so. I want to change the. Yeah, why YouTube chat is not popping up? Good question. Very good question. Chat overlay. YouTube. Let's go here. Hello, hello. Yeah, for some reason it's not connecting. I don't know why, but okay, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna read the chat from this point here. Okay, so I wanted to analyze the games with you. We have 3-4 games from today's tournament. It was weekend tournament, like 6 rounds. And the second round, let me check who did I play. Who was my opponent in the second round? I completely forgot. That was 2 days ago. So, okay. We were playing a very interesting opponent. His rating was 1969. So he was white, 1969. Okay. My name here. Yep. Yes. Okay, let's start. Okay, so in this game, I was having black pieces and my opponent opened the game with d4. I responded with knight f6. So I already played this opponent in one blitz tournament where we played the same variation actually. We were playing the Carlsbad and he played bishop g5, I played bishop e7, e3 castles, but in that game he was playing, instead of bishop d3 normal move, he played this early move queen c2, where he's intending to go with a bishop d3 and longside castles. This is very sharp variation, but usually it's not good for white, because black is having much faster attacks. So our blitz game actually went, he actually played queen c2 immediately. I played castles, e3, rook e8, bishop d3, h6, bishop h4. I played c6. I remember that he even castled, or he played knight g2 first, then he played knight h5. That was in the blitz game. And then eventually he castled long, where black is better here. I can turn on the even bar so you can see the evaluation from this position. Yeah. Basically, in this moment, I lost this game actually, the blitz game. But you just play b5 here, followed by knight a6. You want to go knight b4, and you get very decent position. Like, his attack is much slower than black's attack. So at this point, I wanted to change something, and I didn't play the move rook e8 here, and he also didn't start with the move queen c2, which is definitely better when it comes to move order. You're committing queen c2 too early, and that's not good. You're showing your opponent where your queen's gonna stand, because sometimes if you're going in the Carlsbad with the plans of knight g2 f3, your queen is usually better on d2 because it's protecting the pawn on e3, and on this diagonal you don't really need anything. So I played the move h6. My opponent went bishop h4. Here the really good thing is, since I didn't play the move c6, and if he plays bishop to f4, then I have very nice move c5. And this is the whole story why we are delaying the move c6, because you want to push c5. Now in this position, like usually people are playing knight g2, then the point is knight c6. On castles you want to exchange everything here and then go for bishop d6. There is queen d2 now, and okay, this position is very, equal. Maybe white has a bit edge because queen is already on f4, but on the other side there is no problems for black. Like he'll play bishop d7, rook e8, queen b6, and there is nothing happening in the middle specifically. So my opponent played a move bishop h4, and I played a move c6 now. So I could also go for the move c5 here, I believe, but I opt for this, and now the idea of knight e8. So in queens, in this variation, I want to trade his bishop. So ideal variation in this position now is when they take, to take back with queen, of course. And now I want to go knight e6, followed by knight bd7, then knight f6, then knight e4. So just creating nice middle with my knights, and this knight is Carlsbad knight and already very beautiful on d6. So for white will be very hard later to extend the pawn on e4. Of course, my opponent knew some stuff and played a move bishop g3, where he actually gets this diagonal and delays the capture. So now it makes my knight stupid on e8. I played knight e6, he played castles, and now I played a move rook e8. So we were having a very big positional grind in this position from both of us, because minority attack doesn't work here. Minority attack doesn't work here for white. It's not the same as if you're playing some normal position, because I'm usually going a5 and I'm stopping all sort of minority attack on the queen side from my opponent. That's actually happened. Queen d2, and I'll play the move a5. The idea of a5 is to create a gap for knight on a6 to come on c7 and then to come on e6, because this knight is usually coming on f4, supporting the stuff in the center, and that's my story. I want to go knight e6. If the queen is on c2, now you see that queen on c2 would be bad positioned at this point, because I will threaten knight b4. Okay, it provokes them to play the move a3. That kind of wasted the time. But yeah, that's the point. Then he played rook from a to e1. He's showing idea. He want to go f3, he want to push e4. And that's obvious. So I'm developing normally, playing the move knight to a6. He played the move b3. And this move I completely understand, because the point of f3 here doesn't work. There is the move knight c4. And this is really beautiful, because he has to capture. Otherwise, if he goes something like queen c1, we have this beautiful sacrifice on e3. And after queen takes, bishop g5. And queen is simply trapped, because on queen f2 we have bishop e3. That's the problem for them. And they cannot play f4 or any other move, because we simply take the queen on e3 with our rook. That's a very nice sacrifice. And in case if they take the knight with a bishop, of course, this position looks good for white, because now suddenly he can build a center, but actually this center doesn't go anywhere. Like, you can't extend more of these pawns, you're gonna just create weaknesses. Specifically, if you open up the center or challenge something to trade, then these bishops will become very powerful. So this is a very good position for black, actually. Very strong position. So that was my threat. So he kind of played move b3, sense it. Also, there is idea here for me now. If he goes also f3, I can also start with something like bishop g5. And the point is, if he... Or I can start with... I can start with knight b4, and if he moves back, I have also this idea of knight c4. So that's the point. Anyways, he played b3, I played knight c7, he played f3 now, and now I played move bishop g5. So the same point, I want to pressure the pawn on e3, where I'm dominating my opponent. Is this the first game? Hello, is this... yeah, Kanachki, I played him. Is this the first game? No, this is the second game. The first game I already covered in the stream, but later on I didn't have energy to record more after the game, because we were having 2 rounds per day, and I came back all the time very late and very tired, had some lessons, and I decided after I finished the tournament to cover everything quickly on this stream. So I played move bishop g5, I'm provoking f4. f4 is, by the way, bad move here, because you're creating a weakness on e4, and this pawn doesn't go anywhere. You also close your bishop, you also close your knight square, so this is not great move in Carlsbad for white. I'm putting the pressure on this pawn, so now logically speaking, bishop f2 could be possible move, but then he still has a problem with the e3 pawn. What did you do in the first game? I won. Yeah. If you didn't follow the stream, I won the first game. So we are currently 1 out of 1. If you're looking hypothetically. Targeting the pawn on e3. Bishop f2. Maybe I can play now bishop f5 since there is no e4. Always is hanging. So that's the power stuff about this bishop on g5. And now here's the thing. He played knight f4, which I kind of expected to develop the piece. Then he played the move knight to e6, challenging the knight on f4. According to Engine, he doesn't like that move. But personally, I like it very much because the only move that creates the advantage for white is now some move knight h5. And to understand this move, maybe he wants to go for something like f4, f5, f6. Like everything comes with tempo. And to eliminate this bishop if I come on f6. Kinda, that's sort of idea, I guess. But knight h5 was never guessed in the game. Like, I think he never also thought himself. He actually played knight h3 here, where I just moved my bishop back, and for some reason he went it back on f4. So he kind of struggled to create a plan here for white. It was very, very tense in the center since he cannot push the move e4. It's very hard to push move e4 in any time. And I was like, okay, maybe he has some sacrifices. Like, I was kind of opting for his... at some point, you'll see e4 could be possible as a tricky move. But here I was like, okay, I'm just going to take, thank you. So I wanted to trade this knight. Yeah, this knight made a long run. And on the end, we traded. But this knight is usually bad on a6, e7, e6. Like, he's kind of closing everything. So let's trade it. And now he took it back with a bishop. Now I played a move bishop f5, and I was thinking, okay, now maybe he wants to simplify, then I take on d3, he takes back, I take here. But his position is actually very challenging for white, because he has a problem with these pawns. And I'll play rook e7, followed by rook e8. If I need really, I will start pushing these pawns if it's necessary. Like, the position says that he can never push this pawn on e4. On the other side, he has the weaknesses here, like on the queen side. If he moves the knight, I can go a4. So this trade is also fine for me, but looks equal in the long run. So he played a move knight f4, which was tricky because he wants to attack, of course, on b7. He wants maybe to jump on b6. That looks very natural, if you ask me. Now he took on d3, he took it back, and I played a move bishop g5. He played bishop to e5, and I played bishop f6. Of course, if he goes bishop g3, I'm going to trade a bishop. I'm going to go bishop h4. But he played a move bishop to e5. And I was like, okay, let's go bishop f6. He played bishop f4, and he offered me a draw. Because he thought I want to repeat. But no, this is just on psychological part. You know, I know that he won't repeat. I'm fine with a little bit of repetition. Nothing is changing. I'm just testing his reaction, what he wants from this game. And he played bishop f4 back, and then I go for knight b5. I also saw earlier that knight b5 works. I just wanted to see will he trade bishops or not. So I played knight b5. And the point of this move is to reroute the knight on c7 and then e6. Where I will attack this bishop, and if he moves, maybe I'm going to go bishop h4. I'm also stopping e4. So this is a great story about this knight, the Carlsbad knight on d6. So now he played knight c5, attacking my pawn here, and many people would think maybe, okay, let's go with a move b6, because it looks very natural, and it's possible, of course, but from the human perspective, if you go for b6, you need to be aware that later on your c6 and b6 are both weaknesses, and you need to take care of them, you know, separately. You cannot really protect both of them at the same time. I mean, you can, but you need your queen on b7 or c7, which is kind of impossible and very bad for you. So at this point, I played a move queen c8. That was my whole point, protecting the pawn this way. And also, I want to go now knight c7, followed by knight e6. That's my plan. But maybe you think, okay, why not queen e7 or rook e7 protecting the pawn? That's also possible, but if you go something like that, later on you can't play the move knight c7, you're going to lose the pawn. So you need protection from this way. Then he went back and he thought that maybe I want to repeat again now. So he wants this repetition so badly. He wants this draw, but of course I don't want to draw here. I felt that I'm slightly more comfortable in this position. Then I play this passive move rook e7, but the story behind this move is actually very nice. So this rook can be attacked on this diagonal. We all know that. And also can be attacked by knight, can be attacked by queen, so I'm safe with this rook here. Later on, if I push these pawns, this rook can come directly and support my center breaks, like rook e7 and so on. A second thing, now knight b6 doesn't do anything. I just move queen d8 and he needs to bring the knight back. Now I go successfully knight c7 and this rook makes some job here. Anyways, he's also useful if I breaks with a4 later. So he played a move knight c3 and that's actually where I got really surprised. Let me bring some water. Wait a second. So the thing is, he never actually should exchange this knight. Never. Because this knight is better than my knight and provides more tension on the queen side and generally controlling better the center. e4 breaks my d5 pawn. For me, it's really hard to play against this knight. So at some point, I wanted to trade it. You know, some people would think, why are trading in Carlsbad as black? Usually you have bad endgame because of minority attack, but here minority attack doesn't exist. And after trading this knight on c3, they take it back. At this point, we always have this breaks with a4. And then you suddenly see that this bishop doesn't have any function. Like empty diagonal. Suddenly this bishop becomes better because the e4 breaks never exist. We always have some pressure. That's the point why now play the move queen d7. And okay, now I have a couple of plans. I can maybe do something in the center. I can do something on the queen side. It's still positional grind here. You need to be careful. There is no tactics. Played rook e6. He played rook e2. I move my rook back. And then here I played queen e7. So I want now to break so badly with a4, but I didn't want to allow b4. So here I thought to push a4, but I didn't like the move b4. So that's the point why I played firstly queen e7, and then I want to go a4 next. For example, e4 now looks possible, but here we simply take. And if rook takes d4, I thought to play rook d8, where I attack this guy on e4. So even if this takes, I take back with pawn. I destroyed my pawn structure, but how he does defend this pawn? He needs to play bishop e5, where maybe I can ignore or I can just take and play queen d6, rook d5, c5. So I have some pressure points, which is good for me. If he takes back with pawn, which similarly happened in the game, we got some breaks. Like he firstly played bishop g3, but I managed to break with a4. He played e4, I took on b3, he took back, and now I took on e4. We made all of these trades. I put my rook inside, he put e5, but here generally this endgame feels more comfortable for black because white is definitely having more exposed pawns and it feels like this king on g8 is much safer than white's king on g1. So we have this trade of bishops and now I attack the queen on g6, he played rook queen to f3, I stabilized the light squares, also attack on b3. He played rook from 4th rank to e3 and then I just drop my rook back because I want to readjust it and also have some targets here and here. Maybe my converting part at this point is not 100% precise, but it's enough. Played rook b5, then rook d5, and then rook g5. So we were having so many moves around because, hello, we were being in a time scramble, all of us here, and I just wanted to play something and pressure his time because the only side that can make some critical mistake here is white. Like black cannot make some big mistakes, expect blundering something on f7. So my only defense should be to always have something like rook d7 to be safe around. He can easily blunder c5 breaks, he can blunder the pawn, he can blunder some patterns on the back rank. So that's the point why I was just playing this kind of moves, hanging around with my pieces. And he was also playing passively with his rooks. I think that he should actually go around, maybe try something on my 8 ranks and my first ranks. That was my opinion in the game. When I saw that he is playing passively, I was like, okay, let's trade queens, because I don't feel safe anymore on this F line. That's the point. And then he played a rook rook to f4. If he goes this, then I think I can just go rook d7. And this idea doesn't exist because I just take the pawn. This is not checkmate. I have king h7. He played rook f4 to defend it. I brought rook g6. He played rook e to f3. Now rook to d7. And here you need to include very fast the g rook into the game in defense, because this rook is your offense. You need this rook on b5. So that's why I played rook e7. He started pushing these pawns, which they're coming closer to my rooks actually. They're more exposed, like now g4, d4, b4. I played rook d5, so I look forward for rook b5. Finally, he's activating his rook, and now I have this beautiful move g5. So g5 actually tests him very much. He needs to find from this point some only moves to stay in the game, to stay equal. He played rook e4, and now I test him with a move f6. So here is one calculational line that he needs to see if he wants draw here. Otherwise, any other move is just practically lost, because his pawns are so on my side of the board. I have very much stability. Like if he plays e6 here, it's equal according to engine still. But I'll play maybe king g7, later f5, king f6. I'll take your pawn eventually, and you're gonna be in trouble. I also have rook b5 and so on. So on f6, I saw that the only move that tests everything is the move rook a8. And the point is after king f7, because you can go king g7, there's just takes and trade everything. To play king f7, the move rook to h8. And now when you take on e5, he takes on h6. You can't take the pawn because there is rook h7. You lose your rook. I can show you that quickly. You're losing the rook now. Yeah, you're just in a massive problem here as black, practically. And like rook takes h6. If you take here with your rook, he has rook h7 at least. And on the end of the day, he can go into this endgame where I guess he is definitely equal after b5. You just need to trade the queenside pawns, and white is making a draw. So rook a8 is the most testing move here. Otherwise, what he played in the game was rook a5. And this is not good. You see that engine just goes in my favor now. And I actually used it properly. I played king f7, like bring my king closer, because if he goes for this, I just take, and wherever he drops his rook, I just take on e5, he takes back, I come closer with my king, and my rook eventually finds the way out and get, you know, some good line, and this is completely lost for white, of course. Capselec 123C, thanks for following on Twitch. So that's lost endgame, I saw that. So he played king d3, also bringing his king closer. And now in this position, he offered me a draw. I was thinking a bit here, and he offered me a draw. Both of us are in the time scramble. And he offered me a draw. Actually, I didn't see that I'm winning in this pawn endgame. I didn't calculate it until the end. But eventually, take, f takes e5. Okay, not this endgame. Sorry, not this endgame. F takes e5 endgame. Rook takes here. Pawn takes here. Rook takes here. Rook takes here. Pawn takes here. King e6. King to d4. b5. King c5. King takes. Push. And now, for some reason, I thought that we're gonna, you know, promote at the same time and he'll come with check. But the problem is that, like, if he goes here, I'm just much faster than him. I'm promoting directly and he's not even able to promote. And if he comes on a c4, I just go e4, and here I'm still like promoting before him, and I have also this trick on the end. But it's important to say that I forgot my king in my mind, that my king stands still on e5. And I thought this comes with check, and, you know. Now when I look, it's easy calculation, but, you know, during the game on time scramble, when you need to make critical decision, do enter the pawn endgame. You don't have any, moves back after that. Like pawn endgames are very well known. Like it's draw, it's losing or winning for you. That's it. You can be slightly better, you can be slightly worse in the pawn endgame. So that's the thing. And I was like, okay, then don't go in this endgame if you're not sure. Then stay with rooks in the game. Like don't force the things. And instead of playing e5 here, instead of taking on e5, I played a move b6 because I also found it instructive. If he take here, rook is trapped. And he was also on time scramble here as me. And he played a move rook a6, which is also possible according to engines. Now I took on e5, he took it back, and then I played a move rook b5. So now it's equal still, but it's playable, this is playable endgame where black is still pressing because king eventually will come here, I'll activate my rook, and I'm still pressing. Now he made critical mistake, this is not working because I just take the pawn, this is free pawn. But he thought that he gets some activity from behind. I was waiting for some of these moments where he'll make some critical mistake. He take it back, I take it back, and now he went on the other side. I took the pawn on before, now it's just too much pawns in the game. Check, king d5, and I won this pawn here, and that's pretty much it. Like, it's just important to not blunder some check from behind and always stay connected with your pawns. Here, after check, he resigned because when he goes up, I just take. And here we eventually build the Lucina bridge. They can't do anything about it. What is your next tournament? Great question. I'm playing close tournament for I Am Norm. Will be live stream from 30th January until 6th of February. And then after that, I will be playing most probably another tournament immediately after that one. Also will be streamed, but depends on visa. I'm waiting for UK visa. Hopefully I'll get UK visa, and that will be 2 consecutive tournaments in a row streamed. So one of them most probably gonna be commented by one grandmaster. That's something new. And yeah, that's the second game. So we are 2 out of 2. This was very long game. Like we were playing 80 moves here, big round cards, but grinding. You're gonna recap them, right? Yeah, I'm gonna recap them. Maybe not on live because it will be tough tournament. I'll be playing Grandmasters all the time and International Masters. It's not gonna be the lower rated opponents like here and in the Stockholm and the Sweden where I played. It will be a much stronger tournaments. So okay, now we are having different opponent. This is the 3rd round. And this one is also like these are youngsters, like 15, 16 years old. And they're actually very tricky, very strong. They have own. I see how they're playing. They're not naive at all. They can surprise. So in this game, I was white. Говоришь по-русски? Да, говорю, но сейчас только по-английскому. So my name, where is okay, yeah, here. And then yeah, this guy, and he was rating, he actually has a strong rating. Last time I played him, he was like maybe 1900 or something, I don't remember. But his strength is like around 2100, so he has realistic rating. I was very happy to see that because last time I played him, I actually struggled a lot, even though I was worse. And I managed to win the previous game. And yeah. So I'm not gonna reveal this this game result, but Okay, I started with the first move e4. How much do you make with coaching and YouTube? That's a good question. I don't want to respond now, but I was thinking to make the complete different video than you see on my channels. What was my earnings with all of coaching, YouTube, generally chess in 2025. So if I decide to make it, I'll do it and you'll see there. But I don't want to say it now. Thanks for understanding. E4 c5. I played actually against him at that time the move knight f3. He played d6. And we went for this anti-knight system. Check, bishop e7, queen e2, g6, e5. And he got confused. Eventually I got some advantage. Little advantage. Practical advantage. And then later on he equalized. I was pressing on his clock also. I won the game in this line. Now I decided to go for something different. I played a move c3. I went for Alapin. Very solid, of course, especially for the classical chess. Knight f6, e5, knight e5. Now I play knight f3, and I don't know what he's going to play because he doesn't have any games in database. So I was like, okay, whatever he plays here. I saw that he actually has knight f6 variation. I was doubting if he has, if he's playing here knight f6 or d5. Like d5 or knight f6. So I was expecting both. Do you work anything besides chess, or do you make all of your income like this? No, only from chess. My income is only from chess. Nothing else. The fun story, like when I start coaching and when I start all this thing with chess. 1 second. I have someone on the door. It's actually my delivery dinner. I was working like 5 years ago, some different job. I was playing chess also regularly, but I was never coaching at that time. I was coaching some kids, little kids, but not something online because it was not COVID and it was not popular, these things online. So I played knight f3 here. He played d6, and now this line is very tricky. So just 1 second again. So he played d6, and now the thing is, the very good thing about this line is there is nice trick here that even Daniel Naroditsky explained in many of his recaps, speedruns, and generally the stuff that you can learn a lot. Rest in peace, Danya. Bishop b5 is very tricky line, which is also suggested in course Rustam Kasimjanov and Chessable and Surya Ganguly. It's a very nice line where after bishop d7, so the whole story is actually, want to explain something why you're playing bishop b5. If you wanna play the line bishop b3, it's totally possible, and then later on queen is not available to control the d line. That's the point why you're provoking this bishop to come on d7 if you want to play this line. Like if you play directly, I think the move bishop b5, they go knight b6, you go bishop b3, and I think now they go c4, bishop c2, something like d takes c5, knight takes c5, and now there is this annoying move queen d5. That's the whole story. And if we are taking a look at a line of normal, bishop b5, bishop d7, bishop c4, knight b6, bishop b3, c4 here, takes knight takes c5, here queen cannot come on d5. And that's the difference. Do you think you can become international master soon? With a hard work, yes. With a hard work, I think I can become. I'm I'm not pressuring myself on that currently. I just want to play healthy chess. I pressured myself last year where I played a ton of tournaments, where I lost so many rating points. But hopefully that's not gonna happen again. So okay, and the point of this line is actually knight b6 to go bishop takes f7. And when they take it with king to go e6. And this is very crazy line. Computer says it's equal, but good luck to black to defend this. Like bishop takes, knight g5. The only move is king f6 to stay equal. Then queen f3. Taking the knight is checkmate zone. Like they can't do anything about that. The only move is bishop f5. Then g4, the only move for white, but it's not hard to find. And now the only move again for black is e6. Everything else also loses. g6 loses. Like, I don't want to explain it now, but, you know, you want to make the king run away on the other side, not really on the king side. And good luck to them. Like, in this position, position is still equal according to Evil Bar, but I said again, good luck to black defending this position. Like d4, bishop g5, castles, rook e1. It's just terrible. So I expected this to come. Like, when he played the line with d6, I was like, okay, bishop b5 check. He played bishop d7, I played bishop c4. And he didn't play knight b6, he played the most common move in this position, and that's the move e6. And I was like, okay, now we go d4, that's what I played. He played bishop c6. And now after bishop c6, I just went castles. He played knight e7, and I played bishop g5. Bishop g5 is actually not correct. This bishop actually stands on c1. I realized that later. Like bishop g5 is actually too optimistic. And I was like, why did you play that move? Because it simply allows queen b6, where they're putting the pressure on b2 pawn and just getting very nice stability, you know, in the center. Also, like, they'll capture everything here, and I'm facing some difficulties. Like, black is comfortable in this position. So bishop g5 was too optimistic. What actually I should do? Before I go for all bishop g5 business, developing queen e2, rook e1, firstly go bishop e3. Step out of any sort of attacks. Your bishop is unprotected piece. In Alpine, it's really common to bring this bishop back. I was aware that bishop g5 maybe is not the best, that I should go bishop e3, but okay, doesn't matter. And then now the point is, if they take on d4, firstly you include e takes d6. And now on bishop takes d6, knight takes d4, and this is generally fantastic position for white in Alpine. Like, your pieces are just breathing here. Like, you want to go knight e2, knight e4. At some point, you also go from the other side, depends where this bishop is standing. You want to go g3 to neutralize this diagonal, so on queen c7, just g3, and you know, like, you're totally safe from any problems here. Okay. I play bishop g5, too optimistic on my side. He played queen b6, and now just play the move queen e2. And here on h6, believe it or not, I can't go bishop h4, because if I go bishop h4, I can simply lose the game now. My bishop should stand on this diagonal, support, you know, these squares, and also pawns, so I just brought a bishop back. I was aware that I made mistake. It's just waste of time. I didn't need that move to play. And, you know, you now protect your pawn here, but you're some tempo down, so that's the problem. He took on e5, which is, I think, not the best, because when I take it back with the d pawn, I'm still closing his bishop on f8. So now I didn't realize that the plan of g5 and rook g8 is very strong for black. He played bishop e7. I played knight e2. I'm worse here. White is worse. Because attack on the king side is really strong. They will castle alongside. I completely forgot about that possibility for black. I just completely forgot about that possibility. So I was like, okay. He didn't play knight f4. Firstly, he played queen c7. Then he played rook e1, protecting my pawn in the middle. I was fine with that. Then he castled along now, where we actually already see the problems, because apparently now black's king is much safer than white's king. When they start with g5, where is the square for this knight? Like, where am I going to put a knight? I don't really want to go h3. This just generates another problem for me later, right? So white is cooked here. Some GM would crush me in this position, I believe. Or any other stronger opponent. So I misplaced the opening. Yeah, I'm not Alpine expert. I'm still evaluating that opening, but I wanted to surprise my opponent and, you know, test him to see what he knows. So in this position, I played bishop b5. I found it very interesting because I feel that this bishop is a very strong piece, so let's trade it. And also it's a great defender on the queen side for them. He played knight f4 quite quickly. Like I have to play queen f1, then he takes, and now he should start with g5. So I thought, okay, he wastes my queen moves. You see how many times I kind of repeated queen moves, which was not good. And now he played move a6, which surprised me a little bit because it's kind of helping me to come back. I actually want my queen to stay behind and support my kingside. And not just that, my plan is to go knight c4, but I don't want to play knight c4 if my queen is on b5. Like, my queen cannot give a checkmate here. Like, there's a ton of pieces defending. Queen naturally stays better back now. And now he starts g5. Then I play knight c4 because g4 is not possible. Now I can take the knight. He played quickly knight g6. Clever, because he plans to go g4 and then take the pawn. And I just played h3. So now after this point, I was like, okay, now I like my position. It's not terrible, like earlier. Earlier, black had like faster chances to go knight f4 directly, like in this position, where g5 is even more annoying, and now I'm in a big problem. But after we got to this position where he played knight g6, I played h3. In this position, I was expecting from him to play the move knight b6, where he challenged the knight on c4. With h3, they also attack your king, you said. Yes, but now it's different. The reason now why it's a difference is this knight is on g6. And if he goes h5, I simply take the pawn. So it's very hard now to generate g4. If they go g4, just take. If they go h5, I can ignore with g5. So it's not the same. Like earlier, if you go back where it was, somewhere, yeah, I think even somewhere earlier, yeah, somewhere here, g5. And here he can go rook g8, bishop e7, followed by h5, g4. So I can't now go h3, it doesn't make sense. But if you go further here, it's not possible. This knight is blocking everything. And I also have my plan. I will go a4, b4, I will open up. So it's kind of double-edged position. Opposite side castling, we are both attacking. He played b5. Can someone tell me in chat why b5 is bad? Why is it wrong to play b5 here? Can someone sense it? Why b5 is mistake? Why engine didn't like the move b5? You see? Like engine went crazy for me. Was a problem. Okay, knight d6, but what's the idea of knight d6? What's up, bro? What's up? See your shorts? Lol. The time you are grinding hard, it's gonna pay off soon. Hopefully, but I'm not thinking about the results now. After we can go for a4. Yeah, that's correct. So you're sacrificing the pawn to grab the initiative and then go a4. That's correct. So that's a blunder actually from my opponent. Knight b6 was much better. But also knight b6, there is the ideas of b4, where I would not even think about this move. I was already thinking to autopilot it. If he goes knight b6, we're gonna trade everything, and then I'm gonna go b4. The point is, after take, I'll play bishop e3. Now, most probably, he'll play something like queen b5, trying to offer the queen trade. But to be honest with you here, in this position, when the lines are open, when a4 is coming also, it's very tricky for black. So he played b5, and that's definitely wrong move. b5 is losing the game. Knight e6, takes, queen takes, and now e4. So we are now breaking through on the queen side. Queen b6, takes on b5. Maybe not the best, because there's some move queen takes b5, but I was thinking, okay, at least I can take rook takes a6. But for some reason, Engine liked the simplification here for black, because since the king is open, queen trade is totally fine. He didn't want to trade, I don't know why. Maybe he felt that the pawn on c5 will be lost. So queen b6, now according to Engines, I should start firstly with b4, which makes sense now when I see, and then to take on b5. Anyways, all this looks very dangerous, practically impossible to defend this position. Now, after opening up the A line, it's even getting further. b4 happens. My opponent played king c7. Now we just increase the pressure with bishop. He offered a rook trade. Now we just open up everything. We don't really care about the material. Rook takes c1, rook takes c1. Yeah, there will be c4. If he goes c4 earlier himself, like this, then bishop e3 just. And then rook e7, followed by rook a1, and okay, queen will eventually come to the game, but it's checkmate, so not working for them. King c7, and then we play c4. And then after take, they take here, now queen takes, so even another piece comes to the game. Rook b8 played, now we take on c5, queen b5, and now just give one check first, king c8, and queen d4. So my queen now goes to g7. I'm even fine with a trade of rooks, because I'm planning to just take all these pawns, and okay, eventually later I won't win again. He played rook b7. Engine didn't like decision of trading, because queen takes is much better than king takes, what he did in the game. But now in the time scramble, he simply missed that after queen f5 there is c6, where the game is lost, because after king takes there is knight e4, and if they don't take, I take the knight. So why the queen takes b7 was better? I guess because after queen g7 check, king h2, and queen f5, c6, okay, it's still a threat, but he has some queen b8 move. And I missed that, I need to go g3, and now he has some pressure on the light squares. I need to be careful to, to not blunder something, because after takes, if I enter this desperado, right, desperado thing, I can be in a massive problem. But eventually here, queen takes h6, queen b7, there is queen h8, and then wins the knight. So yeah, that's how this game ended. What do you think about the app in preparation? That didn't go well, but generally the game itself went well later. All right, this was the third game. Now the fourth game, I got paired against my friend, and we agreed before the game on a draw. It was also the second round, double round, and we were like, we don't want to play against each other's. Fair enough. Let's do a draw. And then the fifth round, that was today's morning, I was playing against one elder opponent who was playing against me d4 move first. And he was rated, I think, around 2050. Like something like this. And here I prepared very nice line. There I got some results. This game was crazy. You'll see now. This game is crazy. So it went King's Indian. This is standard line. Play knight b7, castles, e5, e4, rook e8, h3. This is a theory, the main theory. Most probably, if you have some King's Indian players in chat, they know this variation. And now here I take, he takes back. And then I play the move knight c5. Rook e1 is the only move to defend the pawn. And now bishop d7. So here the best plan for white, also if you're playing this line yourself as white, like if you're Catalan player and you're facing this King's Indian variation, you should know that a very decent plan for white is to go rook b1, and then after a5 to go b3, and then usually black does here h6 or c6, something like that. And then white goes for rook, not here because I have d5, but if I start with, let's say, h6, then there's this move rook b2. And then the point is, on c6, there is already rook d2 or rook e2, and this maneuver, this rook lift maneuver, is very decent for white. Now there is no problems on this diagonal, there is no problems with a4, so you don't really touch this bishop, which is kind of counterintuitive, I understand that, but it's actually a very decent one. So my opponent actually played here bishop to f4, which is also another option, where I played the move h6, and now the problem with queen d2, which is natural reaction, he wanna line up, attack here. On h6 I have g5, and when they drop the piece I just take queen e4 and I'm pawn up. But actually my opponent played queen c2, and can someone tell me in chat why this move is terrible? Like, okay, he didn't miss that, he actually allowed it, but like why this doesn't work? Okay, but you need to calculate this. You cannot just take. Because my opponent, obviously, he thought for maybe 10 minutes, and he played queen c2, so he see that his knight on d4 is hanging. But okay, knight f takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes d4, bishop takes h6, and then here, what do we do? Is this good to give this pawn on h6? That's maybe what I want. Knight a5? No. How I mean knight a5? h5. Aha, knight h5. Knight h5 is not good because there is bishop e3. And that's the whole point. They want to play the move bishop e3 while your knight is off, and if you now come back, now this pawn is actually protected with the queen, everything is fine, knight is protected, and they're stable. So yeah, here I play knight f takes e4. And yeah, you have this bishop f5 or bishop e6 in the end. Now knight takes e4, now bishop takes e4. And if bishop takes h6, knight takes e4, rook takes e4, rook takes e4, bishop takes e4, queen takes e4, and just queen f6. So this bishop on h6 doesn't do anything. And you can also maybe play the move bishop f5. This looks possible, but there's just some move like a queen d2 here, I think, which attacks your bishop here and also threatens this. It's tricky. It's tricky. So I saw that it's just the best to exchange everything. Bishop takes is just putting another piece in front, so bishops are not well when they're, you know, a bit on our side of the board. I mean, when I'm talking about their bishops. Like, okay, the only thing he does is this g7. And I think that's the only thing. So queen b, yeah, but you take on f2. You take on f2. You take on f2. If you mean to continue playing this, okay, good luck. Just good luck. King h1. Still on rook e8. threatening some mate, no? This and this. Not working. So that's the reason why he played rook from a to d1. And now in this position, I decided to drop my bishop back to g7, where I saw that his only move is knight c5, otherwise we are just simply pawn up. They take c5, and now he decided to exchange the pair of rooks. I take it back, and he took on c7 with bishop. Taking on b7 is a mistake. We go rook b8, and now, for example, on bishop d5, threatening queen takes g6, there is intermezzo move bishop f5, and whatever they play, we just take on b2, and black is in a driving seat because eventually we're gonna also press with bishop d4 and here all stuff around that one, and that's game over. So I saw that the reason why he took on c7 is to just get a pawn back, but again, this bishop is out of the game, so he needs some time to come back. I played bishop to c6 here, challenging this bishop here, also threatening to take, king takes and queen c6 check, where I double attack the king and the bishop. So he played bishop d5. I took it, and I was expecting from him that he'll take with a c-pawn, where we have some dynamics for white also. But he actually took with rook, which is definitely wrong. This allows queen e1, and then now we just stick our bishop on d4, and we do not allow them to consolidate with bringing the rook back. So bishop d4, queen is also stuck. There's also one trap here. He played b3, I played the b6. b6 is actually a waste of time. There's strong move g4 as actually the only move. If they do anything else, like let's say they do a4 here, this position is losing for white because on the end of the day, they're not in time to trade rooks just because queen e8 happens. That's the win that I saw, and he also saw it. So now the problem is bishop doesn't have bishop a5. That's the purpose of b6. And if he goes on c7, I have check and I collect the bishop. If he goes on h4, I have g5, I collect the bishop. So that's the problem. And that's the reason why on b6 he needs to play the only move g4. So if I go rook e8, rook d8, takes, queen e8, he has at least here, and he will come eventually on g3, so he will be safe. And b6 is eventually a bad move. Instead of that, I should directly go for rook e8. This is the only move, otherwise we are planning to go rook e2, and that's game over. So he needs to trade a pair of rooks. I still need to go back with my queen. This forces the bishop to go on a5. I still give the check on c6. So now he's kind of provoked to push f3 or to move the king away somewhere, king g1 or king h2. But the whole story is to like infiltrate with the queen and like stuck it between his pawn structure. So now, of course, black is still pressing, but I found that he can play just the move bishop c7 and defend everything in this position again. So that's the reason why I didn't play this line. And now, since we traded the rooks, if he consolidate with bishop f4, bring the queen closer, I can't do anything. So I just wanted to keep the rooks on the board. I didn't play rook to e8, and he didn't play a4, he played g4. I played the move queen e8, which is a bit passive, but of course, obviously, we are not allowing trade. He played queen d3. I played the rook c8. He brought a bishop back to f4. And I'll play the move... did I play? Yeah, I think I played rooks... Yeah, I played... No. No. Actually, I played the move king g7. He played queen f3, and then I played the move rook c8. So we are in that position. That's our position. Just to promote this in my notation. Yeah, rook c8 now attacks the bishop. They went back on f4. And then I played rook to c6. I was expecting from my opponent to sack the rook with rook d8. Of course, if I take queen takes c6. But I was planning to go something like this. And on queen d5, I was looking forward to see this position on the board. But eventually, for some reason here, white is better after bishop g3. I didn't see that like that far myself, and I don't really see the reason why black is worse here. Maybe because king is more exposed, this king is more safer. So that's the only one. So instead, I went for... He played rook d6, and here in this position I trade, and now this is that draw. Like when you look, I found b5 useful. And here we were playing around. I don't have my score sheet now with me, but we were playing around a lot. So I took on b5. I remember that he fixed the queen here, trying to prove... Like, there's one trick. If you go queen d7, there's bishop c5. I don't take, there's this, and now white is winning in this endgame most probably, because he's simply pawn up. So I saw this trick. I can't go queen d7. I played king h7. He played queen f3. I remember that we kind of repeated some moves here. I played a6. Oh no! Firstly, I have. I remember that I had defense on my pawn. Maybe he played queen to, or what happened? I don't even remember. He played something like this, and I played a6. He played queen to f3. I finally brought my queen back. Now I was expecting queen d5. That was kind of the move that I was looking forward. But my opponent played the bishop f4. And now I infiltrate my queen on e6 square, I guess. I remember that I provoked him to push a4. Yeah, okay. So I played, maybe I played firstly I played firstly king g7 here or something. So it was something like this. We were playing around. It was something like this. We were playing around, or maybe I pushed g5. He went here, I went here, he went here, and I played now queen g6, threatening to infiltrate. Then he went here, I went here. Okay, my pawn was always protected, of course, so I didn't wander the pawn. So this was the position. Maybe he was playing around or something. Then he pushed a4, then he went back. Then I don't remember, he did something. It was a lot moving around. I want to set up the position what happened in the game. He didn't play this. He moved the bishop back to g3. I played here. And did he move the queen anywhere? Okay, in this position, black is on move. So let's make triangulation and make black on the move here. And then I risk and played h5, which allows me to push f5 later. That's my whole point. Here he played bishop c5. I played king h6. He played some bishop b8. Then I pushed g4, takes. He gave me check. Then we went here. Then he offered a queen trade. And after king f5, the move is, of course, f3 is a draw. But he played this. And this allows me some practical chances of king e4, where I was really happy to see that. He played b4, and this is actually lost. This is actually lost. c4, b5, takes. And now, why is this lost? Why is this lost? What do you think? What's happening here? Okay, bishop e5, takes, f4. That was in the game. By the way, we were in time scramble. We're in time scramble. This is completely winning, but I spoiled it. I thought that f4 is making a draw, because I have to take, otherwise I'm lost. But king d6. Yeah. And the problem is king cannot hold 2 pawns, but this king can at least hold 1, which is enough. He's in the right coordination. So it doesn't matter what I push. I don't need to hunt this pawn now because they'll push the other one. So I need to go c3. And on b7 I just come closer. And now eventually the other pawn is not fast as my pawn. And here I win the game. It's easy when you look at now, but I lost the game. Sorry, I didn't lose the game. It was a draw in the end. But I completely forgot. I thought that I should... I think that I was calculating king d5 move, which is draw. Because now they go f5, and at some point you need to promote the same way. So both of you are promoting. You win the pawn, and that's it. He takes your other pawn. But I didn't look at king d6. I completely forgot about king d6. Even though the other pawn is pushing, you don't need really to move your king until he comes here. And then the b pawn is not close enough, so you just promote. So what happened in the game? Unfortunately, okay, that didn't happen in the game, but in the game I took on f3. He took it back with king, and we agree on the draw here. And that's it. So yeah, I missed the win. I was a little bit upset after that. I saw that I had a chance to win this one, better chances to win, better prize. But okay, from this point we are 4 out of 5, and the last game I was playing was a very decent one. Very, very decent game. And I'm very happy to show you that one. Let me just promote this variation. It's actually from Kalashnikov opening, my main opening, my signature opening, and we got very nice variation. The trickiest variation actually against Kalashnikov. Where I crushed my opponent, but it was very nice and playable game from his perspective also. So if you don't know what is Kalashnikov opening, this is actually coming as the Kalashnikov, and now he played knight b5, d6, knight c3. I thought that he was prepared, but eventually pairings were out like 15 minutes before the round, so he didn't have time to prepare. I remember that last time we played, he played some Alapin, and here actually he played the correct move, bishop d3. But this is the best. This is the best variation against this knight g7 line in Kalashnikov. Now I takes, knight g7, I'm still, knight d7, I'm still in the book. c4 is the best move like he played. I played knight g6, the best move. Takes, bishop e7, so we are simply ignoring everything what happens on the queen side. That's the whole story about his opening. He took, I won castles, and he won castles now. So by the way, this is still preparation. I'm in my own Kalashnikov course still, where white is more comfortable according to engines, as you see, but there is very sharp game happening on the king side now, f5. And at this point here, my opponent should continue with something like rook e1, creating the gap for the bishop if I go e4, maybe rerouting the knight, start pushing b4, a4. But for him personally, as a human, looked that f4 is an interesting move, which is actually very wrong. Any sort of pawn push on the king side only helps black to generate a counterplay. And of course I take it. I don't close it, because if I close it, I just make him a favor. So I close my counterplay on the king side. So I always take it. And now, if he takes here, then he's getting in some problems with queen b6 followed by queen takes b2. Or just generally a d of bishop f6 and, you know, attacking this diagonal. So my opponent played firstly knight b5, then I just took on a6, he played a4. So until this point, I'm in the book. I'm in my course analyze, Kalashnikov. You can check out my website if you're interested in this opening. And he played f4, which is inaccurate. I don't know if I covered that in course, but maybe I mentioned it at some line that any sort of f4 in this specific line, and generally in all these lines, is usually bad. So just know that against Kalashnikov, you should not play f4 move. It's rarely good. Maybe 1% of the line could work to be fine for white. Now we take on f4, and he played knight b5, bishop takes a6, a4. So yeah, we are, hypothetically, we are not pawn down, but eventually we're gonna lose the f4 pawn. But for what cost? They all gave up the bishop. So now I played bishop f6, kinda making their bishop passive to be around this pawn. He played the bishop takes f4. Now I just take it. Thank you very much about this. Then I took on b2. So now I'm attacking the rook on a1. Rook b1 played. Just drop the bishop back on e5. Targets the rook. He takes on f5. I take it back. He takes it here. And now I played queen g5. So many exchange happens. Eventually, we open up the position. And now position is equal. But I'm having some checkmate threats. What he did here wrong, he played bishop e6 check, which isolated bishop, and bishop should stand somewhere back to be in touch with e4, f3, you know, this kind of squares here. Now when the bishop is on e6, it's isolated from defense. I played king h8, and now he played queen f3, where he missed queen h4, double attack on h2 and a4. And now, for example, the most natural move here that I guess that many players would play autopilot in blitz games is the move g3, which is wrong. You'll see later why is it wrong. h3 is actually much better than g3 in this case. Like g3 comes with tempo, kicks the queen, defends the king with tempo, everything. But h3 is much better. You'll see later why. g3 I took on a4, so now I'm -1. Now knight is hanging, and he played knight c7. And this is actually losing. So why is this losing? Now let's start calculating. Why is this losing for white? Do you see the line until the end, how you win as black? Nobody's typing, seems to be hard. Okay, to help you, it's starting with some double attacks. So queen c2 is good notice. But there is good candidate move on that one, and that's the move rook f1. And if you take the rook on f1, he'll take your rook on a8. And then now the problem is you're wondering about the checkmate and bishop at the same time. So it's a tricky moment for you. Eventually you can defend this, even though you're now piece down. King takes actually, not queen takes. It will be checkmate. King takes, and now okay, eventually you're gonna win the knight. And this is draw. But we don't want to draw. So queen c2, we include firstly check, bishop d4. And king h1 is the only move. And now you take. So why is this winning now? Because king is in the corner. And after knight takes a8, bishop g2. Boom. Brilliant. After queen takes, any check on the first rank leads to isolating the king and suffocating checkmate. Game over. In the previous line didn't work because bishop was not on d4. Now it worked. And there is no way out, because if he if he takes the bishop, then you have rook to a1. and you win the queen. And earlier on, if he goes for bishop f5, just take the knight. That's game over. So this is double attack that's completely not possible to defend. And the reason why h3 is better, or any sort of move, like even bishop h3, is that in this line of queen c2, now after rook f1, and after take, knight takes a8, bishop g2, bishop... Okay, this check could work, but now I can even take you. I'm not going... okay, if you started firstly with check, actually my bad. And now when you take, now they can take you in the corner and you don't have checkmate, because after bishop takes g2, just bishop takes g2 and that's it. You need to play something like king g8 and to beg to not lose here as black. Eventually engine is saying it's still fine for some reason, but much harder to play. Your piece down. But okay, this knight is isolated, and I guess your plan would be to trap the knight or to go all the way down to trap it or something. So that was the whole point. In this very nice Kalashnikov course variation, we get the win. Queen c2 was not in this position, so we were actually in this one. So he played g3, missed queen takes a4, and then queen c2. If he plays here rook f1, which was I think the best move, of course I can't take because of queen to f8. I was thinking here to play g6 or bishop f6, but apparently now I see firstly includes the check. They can't take because after queen takes, later on the rook is hanging, and if they cover with the... So I thought on this, takes here, actually takes on f1, yeah, takes on f1 first. Now it's winning, you take the knight next. So rook f1 check, king goes in corner, or king h1 or king g2, and now just bishop f6, and they don't have any problems because knight c7, bishop takes f1. If they go with knight takes a8, queen a1, or yeah, many moves are here, I guess. Just bring the bishop somewhere back is also possible, and you can play this position better than your opponent because your bishops are more dangerous. And isolated bishop on e6, went for check earlier, not a good idea. Now knight is in the corner, terrible. So the game finished after takes, knight c7, queen c2, rook f1, he missed bishop d4 check, king goes to h1, bishop takes f1, and he thought that after this is gonna be a draw. It will if I don't have bishop g2, but bishop g2 is a brilliant move that secures us the bronze medal in this tournament. So we finished the tournament with 5 out of 6. We got around 20 rating points, a bit less, like 18.6, something like that. So yeah, that was a beautiful play. No losses. Kind of expected. We were playing only lower rated opponents, but sometimes, you know, people could surprise. So yeah, that was a very nice game. I was very proud that I win and finalize my tournament with my main and favorite opening. Hope you enjoyed this live. More of this, of course, the recaps, the original recaps from these videos will come on the channel generally. Tomorrow we have a live stream educational speedrun where I will cover the rating level around 1650, 1700. So if you're around that level, you can join here on Twitch or only on Twitch. I'll see where to put. Also, Tuesday will be live stream and Friday will be live stream. Regularly, we're making recaps, shorts, reels, everything. So, yeah. If you need coach, if you need some expert guidance, if you need support for your openings, for your general understanding, you can also contact me on my website, find my contact page, reach me there, and I can help you the best way. Guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.